I just rode my bike to work. It's drizzling. I'm in the Pacific Northwest, so of course it's a little wet out. It's not that big of a deal. Before I decided to do this weight loss journey, I had to figure out how much I wanted to lose, and some people probably wonder how I came up with that. I know there's a variety of ways that people can calculate body fat and body fat percentages. So there's one or two methods that I use that I found a little bit helpful. So first, I used BMI, body mass index. It's a chart that takes into account your height and weight, and it just tells you what percentage you are body fat. Now that's not completely accurate, because somebody who's big like me and somebody who's thin but really muscular, they're going to weigh the same and we're going to be the same height, but we don't have the same body fat percentage. So it's not completely useless, but it's just a rough estimate. And mine was right around like 33 or 36%. I can't remember which one it was. But that was just a rough estimate for me. And so I decided to use another method, which was girth measurements. I'd actually take measurements of different body parts and do some math, and then figure out how much of my body is actually fat. And in that case, it turned out to be 36%, or pretty close to what the BMI said. I know there's other methods like bioimpedance and submersion into water and caliper method. There's lots of different methods, but I just needed a rough estimate so I could do some math and figure out how much of me is fat and how much I want to be of fat. Now, ideally, I should be around like 15% body fat, which would be more than 50-pound weight loss. But for now, that's not important. I'm just trying to make some changes to improve my health. So going from 36% fat to 20% fat, which I have not been, that low in a percent body fat in over 10 years, that's a huge step for me. So I did some math, and at 36% body fat, do the calculations, I needed to lose 50 pounds to get down to 20%, or dang near close to 20% body fat, which is what I want to be. So I'm just going to kind of ramble off some of the measurements here just so that I have them recorded, because every month or so I'm going to redo the measurements and see the progress, or kind of like document the progress so that I can see where the fat's coming from and how I'm doing. My neck was 17 inches, my thigh was 26.5 inches, my arm 17 inches, my chest 48 inches, my stomach 50 inches, and right around my butt and hips area was 48.5 inches. So those are my measurements. It's just a starting place for me to gauge whether I'm making progress and where the fat's coming from. I look forward to taking the measurements again in another month and seeing where we're at.